You are not a tree. If you don't like where you are, move. If you don't like who you've become, change. And the best part, you don't need a year. You don't even need a month. Just give me 7 days, 1 week of real decisions, and people won't even recognize you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. What would your life look like if you stopped waiting and started transforming today? Not someday, not when the timing is right, not after your next failure. I'm talking about right now. Most people live their entire lives recognizable to their habits, to their environment, to their doubts, to their failures. They dress the same, speak the same, complain the same, think the same year after year. Most people think transformation is something that takes years. They imagine it as a distant goal, wrapped in future versions of themselves that only become real someday. But the truth is, transformation doesn't happen when the clock strikes midnight on a new year. It happens the moment you decide, truly decide, to change. That moment of decision is powerful. It's when you draw the line in the sand and say enough. It's when you stop tolerating mediocrity and start demanding more from yourself. You don't need to wait for the stars to align, for the right circumstances, or for perfect motivation. All you need is one honest decision, backed by consistent effort for a short amount of time. 1 week can change everything. When you commit fully to change, you'll be shocked at how quickly things shift. The mind becomes sharper, your energy increases, your focus improves, and you begin to develop momentum. Momentum is a beautiful thing because it multiplies your effort. One disciplined day builds on the next, and before long, you're operating at a level that seemed out of reach just a few days before. But none of that happens without the decision, not the wish, not the desire. The decision, because a wish can be ignored, but a decision pulls you into action. A real decision changes how you show up. It makes you accountable. It gets you out of bed earlier. It shuts off distractions. It moves you from dreaming to doing. There's no need to overcomplicate this. In fact, overthinking is the enemy of action. Don't ask whether you feel ready. Don't wait until you feel brave. You probably won't. But if you decide anyway, if you just begin, courage and clarity will catch up. This is where most people get stuck. They wait to feel different before acting different, but it's the reverse. When you act different, you start to feel different. When you make changes to your habits, your environment, and yourself, your inner world begins to shift. That shift doesn't take a lifetime. It can begin today and bear fruit by the end of the week. So what's stopping you? The excuses are always the same. I'm too tired, I'm too busy, I'm not ready. But behind every excuse is the fear that change might work, that it might actually pull you out of the familiar and into the unknown. That fear is natural, but it's not a reason to stop. It's a sign you're close to something important, something powerful, and that something is your potential. If you can live 1 week with real commitment, with daily action and focused discipline, you'll experience a version of yourself you never knew existed. That version is already inside you. It's not a future you. It's the real you, buried under old habits and delays. All it takes to uncover it is a real decision, followed by 7 days of action. And once you taste that growth, you'll never want to go back. We all become predictable in our habits. We wake up at the same time, think the same thoughts, feel the same frustrations, talk about the same problems, and do the same things over and over again. And without even realizing it, we build a life that reflects our routines. But here's the truth. If you want a new life, you need new patterns. You must stop being recognizable to your old self. The version of you that wakes up late, procrastinates, doubts, and settles cannot exist in the same space as the version of you that rises early, acts with discipline, and aims higher. To become unrecognizable in 1 week, you must first stop being recognizable to the habits that have held you back for years. We often blame the outside world for our results, our job, our circumstances, our family, or even bad luck. But most limitations are internal. They are the byproducts of routines we've accepted as normal. When you start to challenge those routines, life starts to shift. If you always respond with frustration, learn to respond with patience. If you always avoid challenges, lean into them. If you've surrounded yourself with voices that keep you small, replace them with voices that expand your thinking. 1 week of choosing differently, radically differently, will begin to erase the image of your old self. It's uncomfortable at first. Your mind will resist. It will try to pull you back into the familiar, because even if your current life is unsatisfying, it's predictable. And the brain loves predictability. But don't mistake comfort for safety. Your comfort zone may feel secure, but it's slowly stealing your future. That's why you need to interrupt your patterns. Start by becoming aware of what you repeat daily. Where do you waste time? When do you hesitate? What thoughts dominate your mind? Write them down, track them, and then break them. Replace every limiting habit with one empowering habit. Every time you do this, you chip away at the old image of yourself and carve out a new identity. Speak differently. Instead of saying, "I'm tired," say, "I'm getting stronger." Instead of "I can't," say, "I'm learning how." Change your language, because your words are seeds that grow into your reality. Walk differently. Carry yourself with the posture of someone who's going somewhere. Move with purpose, even if you don't have everything figured out yet. Just the act of moving differently creates energy and shifts the way people and you perceive yourself. And perhaps most importantly, think differently. When your thoughts change, your actions follow. Don't spend another day entertaining beliefs that tell you you're not good enough, that it's too late, or that you don't have what it takes. Reject those thoughts like poison. Instead, start believing you are capable, worthy, and ready. Even if it's not fully true yet, believe it until it becomes your new truth. The person you are today is just a reflection of your habits, choices, and thoughts. Change them consistently for even just 1 week, and the transformation will be visible. The old you will begin to fade, and in its place will rise someone powerful, focused, and unrecognizable. Time is the great equalizer. Every person, no matter where they're from or what their background is, gets 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck isn't time. It's urgency. Most people drift through life not because they lack potential, but because they lack the sense of urgency to unlock it. They say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "one day I'll get serious," and they repeat that day after day until the months pass, then years. The dream is still there, buried under a mountain of delay. But if you can develop urgency, even just for 1 focused week, you'll be amazed at how quickly life begins to change. Urgency doesn't mean rushing around or being in a panic. It means you act like your goals matter. It means you stop treating your time like it's unlimited. It means you take today seriously because you understand that lost time doesn't come back. When you live with urgency, you make different decisions. You turn off the distractions. You stop scrolling endlessly. You say no to things that don't serve your future. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start doing the best you can with what you have. Urgency pushes you into momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Suddenly, you're not just thinking about change. You're living in it. The problem is that we've become too comfortable with putting things off. We live in a world where convenience is rewarded and discomfort is avoided. But growth doesn't live in comfort. It lives in the tension of doing what's hard now, so you can live better later. People who achieve great things don't necessarily have more discipline than you. They just live with a higher level of urgency. They've realized that life is short, opportunities are rare, and there's no guarantee that tomorrow will be better if you waste today. That realization creates fire, and that fire, even if small, is enough to carry you through 1 powerful week of focused, urgent action. Start thinking in hours, not just days. How you use the next hour matters. What are you feeding your mind? Who are you spending time with? What habits are you practicing? Ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now moving me forward or keeping me where I am? If it's not serving your progress, cut it. If it is, double down, This mindset shift, this urgency, creates clarity. You stop chasing everything and start focusing on the few things that truly matter. When urgency meets consistency, results show up fast. You start seeing the changes in your body, your thinking, your energy, and your confidence. People around you begin to notice, and more importantly, you begin to notice. You begin to see what's possible when you treat every day like it counts. You don't need more time. You need to treat the time you already have with the seriousness it deserves. 1 week of living with urgency, of acting like your goals are on the line, can shift everything. The transformation you're hoping for isn't years away. It's waiting for you on the other side of urgency. Your routine is either building you or breaking you. There is no in-between. Every action you take, no matter how small, is casting a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. If you wake up late, hit snooze, scroll your phone, and stumble into your day without intention, then you're reinforcing a pattern of passivity. On the other hand, if you wake up early, take control of your morning, feed your mind with purpose, and follow through on your priorities, you're reinforcing power, discipline, and identity. What you do daily writes the story of your life, and in just 1 week, you can flip the script entirely. The biggest mistake people make is underestimating how much their routine influences everything. Your mindset, your energy, your productivity, your confidence. It all stems from what you consistently do. One bad habit might not ruin you, and one good habit might not save you. But the accumulation over days and weeks does. And that's the good news. You don't need to change your entire life in one giant leap. You just need to change your routine for the next 7 days. That change, though small at first, can create a ripple effect that transforms your entire direction. Your morning sets the tone. If the first thing you do when you wake up is consume noise, emails, messages, social media, you're letting the world program you before you even choose your thoughts. Instead, start your day with intention. Read something inspiring, move your body, sit in silence, set your goals. You don't have to follow someone else's perfect routine. You just need one that wakes up the best in you. Do that each morning for a week, and your internal world will begin to match your external efforts. Your routine doesn't end with the morning. What you do during the in-between moments matters just as much. Are you managing your time or wasting it? Are you reacting to life or creating it? Most people live in constant reaction mode, responding to problems, distractions, and other people's agendas. But when you create a routine filled with small wins, focused work, scheduled breaks, mindful meals, physical movement, you begin to reclaim control. That control builds confidence, that confidence builds identity, and that identity becomes your new standard. Evenings matter too. What you do before bed programs your subconscious mind. If you end your day with negativity, noise, or self-doubt, you're setting yourself up to carry that into tomorrow. But if you end your day with gratitude, reflection, and rest, you're closing your day like a professional, someone who takes their growth seriously. A consistent evening routine resets your energy and prepares you to wake up with purpose. When you change your routine, you change how you see yourself. And when your self-image changes, your actions begin to align. One powerful week of deliberate routines, morning, day, and night, can completely shift your momentum. The habits you practice today will shape who you become tomorrow. Build routines that serve your future, and soon you'll become someone even you won't recognize, in the best way possible. Discipline is often misunderstood. People think it means being hard on yourself, forcing routines, or living without joy. But discipline is not restriction, it's liberation. It's the tool that helps you break free from the chains of inconsistency, distraction, and regret. Without discipline, your days are at the mercy of how you feel, and let's face it, feelings are unreliable. You might feel tired, bored, unmotivated, or even hopeless. But when discipline steps in, it becomes the bridge between your current reality and your highest potential. And in just 1 week, if you commit to discipline, you can begin rewriting your entire future. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They do what needs to be done even when they don't feel like it. They don't rely on mood. They rely on commitment. They don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, is this part of the standard I've set for myself? That's the power of discipline. It raises your standards. It gives you structure. It transforms chaos into clarity. And clarity, over time, becomes momentum. Discipline isn't about doing 100 things. It's about doing the few right things over and over again. Wake up when you said you would. Follow through on the promises you made to yourself. Focus on the task instead of escaping into distraction. Eat to fuel your body instead of just feeding your cravings. Speak positively instead of complaining. These aren't huge tasks, but they require intention, and with intention comes transformation. Most people live in a cycle of broken promises they made to themselves. They say they'll start on Monday, but Monday comes and goes. They say they'll change, but they don't follow through. This weakens confidence. It chips away at belief. But the good news is, you can flip that cycle. Every act of discipline becomes a new vote for self-respect. The more you follow through, the more powerful you feel. You begin to trust yourself again, and that trust is the foundation of personal growth. If you practice discipline for even 1 week, truly practice it, you'll feel it, you'll walk taller, you'll think clearer, you'll speak with more certainty. You'll feel the shift not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. You'll start to realize that the only thing standing between you and the person you want to be is consistency, not perfection, not talent, not luck, just consistency. Discipline also creates time. When you stop wasting hours on distractions, when you stop delaying the hard things, you gain control over your schedule. Suddenly, you have time to build, learn, grow, and rest. That control doesn't come from chaos. It comes from daily structure, repeated with purpose. So if you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, let discipline be your fuel. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't feel ready, especially then, because discipline is not about making life harder. It's about making you stronger. And when you become stronger, life begins to bend in your favor. Most people wait for the finish line to feel proud. They wait for the results, the success, the applause, or the external proof that something has changed. But the truth is, transformation doesn't begin at the end, it begins at the start. The moment you make a committed decision to change, you've already separated yourself from the version of you that used to wait, hesitate, or overthink. That decision, that first step, is the most powerful part of the journey. Because in that moment, you stop being a spectator of your life and start becoming the author of it. We often look at the outcome and think, when I achieve that, I'll feel different. But what most people discover is that the change starts much earlier. It starts the day you finally say, I'm done waiting, I'm ready now. It's the day you push past excuses, the day you take action even when it feels uncomfortable. That first step is more than just symbolic, it's transformational. It tells your brain, your body, your habits, and your environment that something is different now, and the world begins to respond in kind. Many never take that step because they're overwhelmed by how far they have to go. They see the mountain, the distance, the long journey, and they freeze. But here's what they don't realize. You don't have to climb the whole mountain in 1 day. You just have to take the first step. That step builds confidence. Confidence builds courage. Courage builds momentum. And with momentum, you begin to move faster and more powerfully than you ever imagined. The first step might be waking up earlier. It might be writing your goals down. It might be finally having the hard conversation, making the call, showing up to the gym, or saying no to an old habit. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but it does have to be intentional. That's where the magic begins. Not in the scale tipping, not in the bank account growing, not in the praise from others, but in the quiet decision you make to live on purpose instead of by default. And once you've taken that step, something else happens. You begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who hopes, but as someone who acts, not as someone who talks, but as someone who follows through. That shift in identity is what makes the transformation stick. You're no longer the person you used to be. You're becoming someone new, someone focused, disciplined, and in motion. And even if no one notices at first, you will. That internal change is what makes you unrecognizable, even to yourself. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for the finish line to start celebrating. Take the first step now. Because in that decision, in that single act of courage, everything begins to change. One step can start a chain reaction. One step can create a week of progress, and 1 week of progress can create a life you no longer have to chase, because you're already living it.